Hey, welcome back to Five Lakes Garage. Today, we're excited because we're downstairs, not upstairs, because we're working on our 1989 Grand Wagoneer. All right, if you've been following on the channel, you know that I absolutely love this thing. Like I said, it's a 1989 Grand Wagoneer. You know what grand means? That means it has every option from the 80s. But anyway, it's got the 360 underneath the hood. It has a 727 transmission. It has, 44 front and rear. It is ready to go. It also has 33-inch tires, which has a 3-inch lift and a 2-inch body lift, which I would much rather have the all suspension, but hey, we're gonna get that on a later day. But what we're gonna do today is something quick, simple, and even you can do it with simple little tools. And what we're gonna do is follow in the footsteps of David Freiberger and Steve Dulcich and put in a 1-inch spacer. Never actually used one of these before, but hey, it was cheap, and according to them, it makes power. I don't know. And with this guy, we need all the power we can get because she's a helpful. All right, let's get this hood open. Let's dive right in and see what we got, and just put in a spacer. It should be simple, right? They make it look easy. All right, now that we got the hood open, you can tell I'm not really that short, but this thing is way up there, and I can't reach in there because it's such a big, massive beast. So I'm gonna go grab some benches so we can get in there and start taking things apart. Woo, that's a lot of vacuum lines. Thank you, 80s. All right, welcome underneath the hood. We got a simple little Edelbrock sitting on top of a, looks like a dual plane manifold. So we're just gonna pop that up. We gotta take those studs out because they are not gonna be long enough. So we're gonna take a video. That's why you take videos of all linkages, electrical, hoses, all that good stuff, so we can put it back once we actually raise this thing up. Now, a couple things that you're going to have to probably modify would be this bracket here, because this controls your throttle, your linkages, your kick down. That would be for your cruise control. That's not hooked up. But anyway, that might work, might not. We're going to find out once we actually get it up there. But anyway, just got 4 bolts and a bunch of hoses. Yay! All right, so I got the carburetor off. Just a little 1/2-inch wrench there. This is a Jeep from the 80s, and everything is SAE, at least on this guy. So as you can see, it's got a bridge that is separating the two sides, and what this is going to do with the 1-inch spacer is kind of hopefully equal out both sides. It could help, might not help, I don't know. But all 4 of these studs actually came out nicely except for this one. So I put 2 nuts on it, put them together. There we go. It's as easy as that. And now since I got everything torn apart, wow, I got some oil leaks. So I have an oil leak there, got an oil leak over there. Yeah, and trash down the carburetor hole. Easy, I'm telling you, it's easy. All right, so we have our longer studs. We're just going to screw those guys in. Now, a couple of things that you're going to have to watch out for doing, putting in this spacer. You might have to rejet, or in our case, since we have an Edelbrock, adjust the metering rods in order to get your fuel air ratio correct. Now, I do have a AFR in this guy, so yeah, so it's a fuel air ratio. All right, so I'm gonna do my 2-nut jobber again to be able to get this guy down in there. Now, you really don't want to be shoving anything in there. To be honest with you, I'm gonna grab a rag. Let's put a rag in there before I get too far. So before you get too far, throw some rags down into the intake. You're gonna do that for 2 reasons. One, the main reason is not to drop any of these nuts, washers, or anything like that in the intake, because then you have to take the intake off to find out where in the heck the nut or bolt is. And that sucks. Oh, see how easy it is to drop it? Not good. Okay. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna pull this engine out, replace the heads, replace the cam. It's already got a cam in it, but we're gonna replace it and actually hopefully get some power out of this thing. The problem is that this thing is from the 80s, and from the 80s means emissions, which means extremely low compression. I believe it's 8.3 to 1. Look it up. Check on me. Comment whether or not I'm wrong or not. Anyway, can't make a lot of horsepower without compression. Unless you have a supercharger or a turbocharger, but then you're just up to the compression by shoving more air in it. Alrighty, studs are in. Time for some action. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is put your gasket on the correct way. And then you're going to put your spacer on. Oh, that looks pretty. And then you're going to put the second gasket on there, because everything needs a gasket. Now just know that this kit, I'll leave the part number down below. This kit works with AFR as well as Edelbrock. There you go. Now this carburetor actually was rebuilt by yours truly shortly after we picked up this Jeep years ago, because it ran horrible. There was so much crud in there. And I'm pretty sure all that crud was the crud from ethanol gas. If you leave it there for too long, it will kind of gum up everything. Not a good time. Now when you tighten this down, just go crossways just to make sure it goes down securely. Now don't cinch down one without snugging the rest. So you're going to go around this circle quite a few times. Alright, that is on there, not going to go anywhere. Now we just got to hook everything up. So you have, ooh, that's going to be tight. You have your electric choke. You got your fuel hose, there we go. And then on your fuel hose, don't forget to tighten it up. All right, you have your main vacuum. All right, so we have our vacuum hose right here, which goes into your distributor for your vacuum advance. Now, I don't have a hose clamp that small, but that's okay. We have tie wraps. Another little thing that I kind of knew it before, but Dulcich and Freiberger like to use it. Now I do like to use the small ones, only because if you use the big one, that's too much surface area and it doesn't clamp very well. So I'm going to take my pliers, I'm going to twist it to really get it tight. They like to use actually it's a pair of pliers that are for tie wraps. I don't have that. If you have one and you want to donate it, feel free. P.O. Box 821, Holly Springs, North Carolina, 27504, I think. I'll put it down below. And then you also have the kick down as well. You might have to adjust that. That's important. Your kick down or trans linkage, if that's off, you go up there and stomp on it and you just burn up your transmission. Yup. So there. All right, everything's connected up. I just need somebody to stomp on the gas pedal to make sure this is going to work. All right, that might actually work. I guess next step would be to crank it up. See what we can do. Okay. Fuel pump on, check for leaks. Looks all right. Anywhere from 6 to 7 PSI. Looks like we're good. Open the door, crank it up. Well, I don't know if it actually hurt or helped, but it cranked up better. That's a good sign. So I guess now we just need to drive it and make sure that the kickdown is okay. Hopefully we won't have to adjust that, but we will find out. And basically how you adjust is this little screw right here. It will actually control the throw on it. All right, so I just noticed something. We will have to adjust that because I couldn't get a wide open throttle. Okay. So let's loosen that up. And how much you want to bet it is not going to be a 1/2 inch? Oh, of course not. Why would it be? How about a 7/16? I got one of those. There you go. All right, so this adjustment is pretty darn important. Okay. So what we're going to do is attach this to the rod. Even though it just came all the way off. All right, let's try that again. So we're going to attach that. We're going to go wide open throttle with the lever all the way out. There you go. So that's where we want to put it. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. But we're going to find out once we go out there and see when it shifts. There you go. Put my pin back in. And then we're going to go wide open throttle and make sure we got it all. There we go. That's as far as it goes. All right. Hopefully that's where it needs to be. Bend that out. Air cleaner. Important. Let's go over to this thing's second home, which will be the gas station, and put some fuel in it. And hopefully everything works right. All right, one little tip for you. Put your stuff back into the box. Because you might need all that stuff back one day. And you have secure, and hopefully you can find it, put a label on it, whatever you gotta do. All right, let's crank it up. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hey, if you need some outdoor speakers, indoor speakers, whichever, go ahead over to Hyundai and go ahead and get you 10% off. But if you need some LED lights for your trucks, your tractors, whatever, go over to Exito and get you 15% off. All the promo codes are down and below. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show. I gotta clean up. All right, let's go. All right, sorry for the lighting and the noise. She's not quiet. Get some light. Ooh, that lighting sucks. Do need to work on the brakes on this thing. Ooh. Seems puffy. There we go. Got a good shift in the second, good shift in the third. All right, so that kickdown cable seems to be adjusted just right. Good. All right, let's put some fuel in her, get back home. All right, that was a successful test drive. I did find a couple little small issues. Under load, we still have the same air fuel ratio. It's a little bit rich, but it's about 12 something to 1. Actually, almost 13, but it's like 12.8. But at idle, we're sitting at around 11 and some change. That's a little too rich. We want to get that number up a little bit higher so we don't foul up the plugs and use so much fuel. And there's a quick and easy way to actually fix that, and that's your idle mixture. If you look right here in the front, you got 2 screws. Basically, we'll crank it up, leave it at idle. It's already warmed up, so that part is all taken care of. That's another reason why I wanted to do a test drive, is to warm it up. So we'll sit there, have it at idle, and then we'll twist those screws. I usually go all the way closed and then start backing them out the same way all the way out until my air fuel ratio is where I need it to be. You can also adjust it for vacuum. So if you hook up a vacuum gauge, you can sit there and work your screws that way. But I'm just going to use the AFR for right now. All right, so I leaned it out just a little bit. It is in the 13s. And go just a little bit more. Can't go too much or else it'll start dying. Oh, check it out. All right, so we are about 13.5, 13.6. All right, I can live with that. All right, it's not over yet. The more I looked at it, the more I played around with it, the more I was like, let me put some spacers on that throttle cable. So all I did was actually use some leftovers, just in the scrap pile, but it's pretty decent thickness. This is actually from a satellite dish. Yeah, don't need that anymore. Almost made it. Anyway, so this is pretty much all I did was just cut off 1 inch of that tube, put some different bolts in, easy peasy. So if you look down in there, you can see it, maybe you got spacers. Anyway, we just raised that up, which in turn made this a little bit, it's not quite parallel. I could have got a little bit further up, but I have free reign of the entire throttle. So I can go all the way forward and then it comes back and actually goes down to idle. What I was actually seeing was that when I hit the gas and I let it off, it wouldn't idle all the way down. It still revved a little bit high. So the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, all right, go the extra mile. Don't do stuff like halfway. All right, that was a really quick, simple, and cheap way to actually add a little bit more performance to your carbureted engine. Now, did it give me a lot of horsepower? Can't really feel too much, but it did give me throttle response. As soon as you hit it, boom, she is snappy. I do like that part of it. It shifts well because we had to adjust the kickdown cable. A couple things you have to really look at would be your linkage. Make sure it's not bound up. Make sure it's not too much of an angle. If it is parallel, then you're golden. I think later on I might actually look at maybe putting an insert just to lift that up to make it parallel. Right now, she works okay. And also the kickdown works as well. The other thing is to make sure that your air fuel ratio is correct. If you run it too rich, you're gonna foul up plugs and use a lot of gas and it's gonna stank. But if you have it too lean, then you're gonna be you might actually hurt your engine. And you don't wanna do that. But right now, I'm just gonna button it up, put it to bed, and get ready for my next road trip. And actually, I need to put it down in the comments. Do you think I should rip this engine out and put an LS? Or rip the engine out, change out the heads and the cam, boost it up to about 300 horse, and call it a day after that? Let me know. Comments down below. I do have a small list of other things I need to do to this thing, but I need to work on other projects first, and then we're going to be back on our Wagoneer.